Francisco, the place to be midweek as we approach Super Bowl 60. Your Seahawks favored by 4.5. Total somewhere 45, 45 and a half, maybe a 46. Two really good defenses. Maybe the problem is the Patriots offense. One that averaged 28.8 points in the regular season, down to only 18 in the playoffs, even though they've been able to win 3 games. Again, you hear those talkies, and they'll tell you this is arguably the easiest road in the history of the NFL for the New England Patriots to get to the Super Bowl. They did take on 3 of the top 5 defenses in the playoffs, and they're going to get another top defense as far as scoring defense, number 1 in the NFL, coming up this weekend with Seattle. And others will say, well, yeah, but look at the other side of the football. Okay, LAC, you had Justin Herbert, and you had a just absolutely ripped apart offensive line, including both tackles that were out. I'll drop a San Francisco term on you right now. Helter Skelter. Yeah, it's off the Beatles' White Album, but when Charlie got out of the big house, he did pick up Squeaky Fromm in a VW bus, and they traveled to Los Angeles. C.J. Stroud was Helter Skelter in that playoff loss to New England. Then enter Jarrett Stidham, who really played well outside of the, fumble when he let it go behind the line of scrimmage. And, of course, we had to go to the officials and everything else that did take place. So, folks right now are saying that numbers can be a little bit misleading. Here's what's not. The perception publicly from the gamblers, it's been overwhelming in support of Seattle, whether it's public money or whether it is from the sharps. I saw this a little bit earlier today. 34 individuals at the NFL Network have voted on your Super Bowl winner. 30 of the 34 pick Seattle. ESPN, 57 voters, 47 have chosen the Seattle Seahawks. The Athletic, 8 for 8 when it does come to picking the winner of this year's Super Bowl. I find all of that absolutely not surprising. I mean, this feels like it's got blowout written all over it. I've seen very few who have really given the Patriots a legitimate opportunity to go ahead and win this Super Bowl. They're just not as talented. Prisco broke down the top 40 players, and I want to say 7 of the 10 were from Seattle. I was really surprised with Prisco. He didn't have Travion Henderson in there, and I know he's been basically dismissed. Now that the playoffs have gotten underway, they've gone back to Stevenson, who did have that fumble problem throughout the early part of his career in the early part of this season. But I still think if New England's going to pull off the upset, they're going to have to get a big game out of Travion Henderson. We will see. Okay, our first report on the Super Bowl. Let's check in with Kendra Middleton. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. Of course, Kendra has a lot of friends back here in Duval, born and raised here. She does an outstanding job in my hometown of Boston, Massachusetts, where she's on 98.5, the Sports Hub. So, again, we're going to go to her momentarily. All right, you're starting to get one other note. One other note before I get to the Jaguars. This one really surprised me. All right. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here we go. I was sent this today, and it comes from a gambling entity that I'm not allowed to mention on these airwaves. And you know me, I ain't going to rock a cradle. There's no way in hell I would ever do such a thing. So just let me give it to you without the source, which is something that I really do, and for the most part would only do if it comes to a gambling entity that is not Hard Rock Cafe, everyone's favorite, right? No doubt about it. But let's see here. 84% of the states in the United States of America are voting for Seattle, okay? 42 states. There are only 8 states that are voting for the Patriots. And obviously you would expect New England right? You're getting it in, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Vermont. I don't see Maine here. You trying to tell me that Maine didn't vote for the Patriots? That's 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess they just left them off. A lot of people leave Maine off. Okay, it just happens to be that way. So I'm going to add unofficially here Maine to the list. Connecticut, all right, which to me has always been space between New York and Massachusetts. I've never really identified Connecticut as, in fact, a state in New England, but most do. California and Florida. Transients, right? People like me who came here and never left. People who just come here, during the winter months, or others who have decided to call the great state of Florida their home. I was a little bit surprised by that because I was thinking that maybe there's a little bit of a riff between Jacksonville and New England. Certainly, there's been a long-standing rivalry that's gone on for decades between the Dolphins and the Patriots. Tampa Bay, not much there. They did take Brady. They did take Gronkowski. They won a ring. I don't know what their opinion is, but I will come out and tell you that this does absolutely surprise me at least a little bit that Florida is one of the 8 states listed that actually is rooting for the New England Patriots. All right, you have noticed over the last couple of days that you're starting to get something here, something there from members of the Jacksonville Jaguars talking in Santa Clara. All right, we've had comments from Liam Cohen earlier in the week. Tony Khan did an interview with Rich Eisen. Eric Armstead has spoken yesterday at the Pro Bowl. Devin Lloyd came forward with some comments. And basically what he said was he prefers to stay in Jacksonville. Okay, that's expected. He also went on and said there have been no talks so far, which is not surprising. That's just the way things really do go for the most part when it comes to free agents. He also went on to say this, which I think is good news. Quote, "I want to be where God wants me to be." I think God wants him to be right here in Duval. I don't believe his agency wants him here because you're not going to make the most amount of money that you could possibly earn here in town. You're going to have to be able to get that in the open market. At least that's the way I do look at it. The rest of the quote, quote, "I want to be where God wants me to be. For me, being back in Jacksonville, my mom lives out there. Obviously my lady lives out there. There are a lot of pros to being out there. And so for me, it's just about being in the right spot. Ultimately, that's the number one most important thing, being in the right spot." End of quote. He gone. Okay. And, I hate to say that after referencing God, his mama, and his GF, but he's gone. He is going to, like just about every other athlete in every sport, he's going to chase the dollar. And who's to blame him? This is his big ticket. This is a chance to make around $20 million a year. I think those comments are somewhat positive. I also think the return of Anthony Campanile is really a positive. But here's a guy who came in older. I want to say he was like 24 years of age when he came here, from Utah. They didn't pick up the 5th-year option, which personally could have bothered him, although realistically, he hadn't earned it. You know it, and I know it. He played much better football this past season. And this is what is scary about this. I'm going to be very intrigued to see where his destination is and just how thorough the work has been done on Lloyd. Okay, we saw in a couple of different systems around here, he really struggled against the pass. He was always a solid run tackler. Okay, you've known that. I've known that. But he got much better this year against the pass in this new zone type of scheme that Anthony Campanile did employ. I think you can honestly make the case, and I hate to be the one to do it, but I'm going to, that if they don't do their homework, this could be like Bryce Paup coming back to Jacksonville decades and decades ago. Maybe not the best analogy, but it's one that I just thought of. Bryce Paup was so good in his career. Why? He played opposite of Reggie White. He played opposite of Bruce Smith. He came here, it was the wrong system. He was longer in the tooth, and he was a massive bust. I think you could put bust all over Devin Lloyd if he doesn't go to the right team and the right system. Not wishing it upon him. He's a really good young man. Have the utmost respect for him. But I think if you were to really look at career achievement, where are you going to play your best football? It's here. This scheme works for Devin Lloyd. With the former schemes, with the former defensive coordinators, did not. Be interesting to track and see what happens. Again, I'm not, going to be one of those who's feel like a scorn lover and he's gone, and then I wish him all this, bad news. No way. Not wired like that. But I think there's a real possibility. I mean, for instance, Travis Etienne, no matter where he goes, whether it's here or somewhere else, still think he's going to be very productive. Okay? If you lose Buster Brown, and, there's some talk about franchise tag, and that's going to be around $20 million for a corner. There's no way you're going to pay Buster Brown that amount of money. You're going to have to put together a lengthy deal for Buster, a 3-year minimum, maybe a 4th year, try to lock him down. And I don't know what he's going to fetch on the open market. But when you get back to Devin Lloyd, I just think an early recipe is for him to collect a huge paycheck and then be looked upon as a major miss by a team. And again, all of that will depend upon how things do line up, schematically speaking, for that particular defense. Okay, it's pitch dark. It's 12 minutes past 6, and you may be struggling to drive home. Cataract is a real issue. It's something that scares the snot out of so many individuals. It really does, because they always know someone in the office whose husband had like a bad reaction to a cataract surgery, and, it's affected it. Well, hey, listen, for the most part, those conversations are probably true. You need to settle in and go to Shmunez Vision, where you will get a thorough examination. All right. If surgery is needed, they will be there to answer each and every one of your questions. That is not the case in a lot of practices. A lot of folks, they'll send you down the hall to a surgery counselor, or you talk to someone else who's not going anywhere near the table, right? The surgery table. In this case, the examination, Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. Not only do they take you through a thorough examination, they answer all your questions. Then you look at 37 plus years of experience when it does come to surgery. Hey, you may not need cataract surgery. It may be as simple as another remedy that they can provide for you, but you don't want to keep delaying this, especially if you believe there's something going on. On the flip side, a want is laser eye surgery. Just imagine the rest of your life never having 20/20. Last night was a weird night for me. I fell asleep on the lazy boy at around 10 o'clock, which I never do. Okay, the GF was actually fired up because it was like the first time in her life she said, let's just turn this off, you're asleep. And I do that 7 nights a week. So the opposite happened, and I just crawled into bed, and I was like, that's it. And I woke up at like 2 because I had to go to the bathroom, and guess what? I left my contacts in. There's nothing worse than taking those bad boys out if you pass out. All right, well, with laser eye surgery, you don't have to worry about that. Shmunez Vision. Check them out online. You can also go to Instagram, get the very latest at Shmunez Vision as well. All right, we're extremely busy on this Wednesday night. Let's go to Boston. Let's bring in Duval's own Kendra Middleton from 98.5 The Sports Hub. She joins us on Into the Night next.
I'm Logan Cook from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So Logan Cook will kick it away, and they're going to throw it to Walker. And it's going to be a first down.
Oh, 10-10 XO.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Listen to whatever you like, whenever you want.
I like this.
1010XL on demand. Ad-free shows after the live shows end. Channeled by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Hi, it's Tara Lagaman. Jeff and I love Local Fair Jacks for fresh eggs, quality meat, produce. It's all from local farmers. There's no scary recalls, just food you can feel good about feeding your family. Learn more at localfairjacks.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, it's Angela and Brian Wall. How many companies do you know in this day and age that actually want their potential customers to call their competition and get quotes from them?
That's what Window World wants you to do. Window World knows there are other window companies out there, but we also know those other guys. When compared to Window World, they can't offer you the quality at the price that Window World can.
And with Window World, you get the absolute best guarantee there is in the window replacement business.
If anything goes wrong with your new Window World windows, 5 years from now, 10, 15, 50, Window World and I will be there to fix it for you. You get peace of mind with Window World, and to top it off, Window World windows increase the value of your home. So look what you get with Window World. Quality windows, low price, the best guarantee in the business, energy savings, and an increase in the value of your home. A win-win for you.
Call Window World today and get your free in-home estimate, or see them online at windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World. Simply the best for less. Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. If you have a school, team, or group that would benefit from a team store, you're in luck because we now offer team stores. Check us out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Fence problems? The old one falling apart and leaning over? Well, if it's time for a new one, call Duval Fence today at 260-4747 for a quality job. Restore the look and privacy you expect. Trust the experts. DuvalFence.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
All right, Kendra Middleton is Duval born and raised. She is in my hometown. She calls 98.5, the Sports Hub, her home now. And she joins us live on 1010XL and 92.5 FM with Rick Ballou. Kendra, how you been?
Hi, I'm well until your phone screener called me Miss Middleton, but
Ooh.
I'm doing great other than that. How are you?
He's a respectful young man.
He is.
Are you staying warm, Kendra? What's it like in my hometown?
Oh my gosh, there is so much snow outside that my dog won't even use the bathroom because he doesn't want his butt to be cold. So
Yeah.
I am very jealous of, even though it's been cold for you guys too, I would trade you any day.
Yeah, it has. It's been really, I think it was one day last week was maybe the coldest day I can ever remember here in the state of Florida. But it was nice today. It was 72. I guess it's going to be fairly nice this weekend as well.
What I would do for 70-degree weather, you have absolutely no idea.
Yeah, but things are going well for you. Everything great right now in Boston. Real quick, your opinion on the huge story a week ago, that of course being Bill Belichick snubbed from the Hall of Fame.
So I have heard so many different angles of this, obviously being on the radio in Boston. Do I think that he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer? Absolutely, not even a question in my mind. But I'm such a petty person that if I had a vote and somebody was horrible to me or I thought they cheated, I can't say that I wouldn't do the same. You know how Bostonians are. Like, I feel I've taken on that mentality to a degree. I haven't called anybody ma'am or sir in a while, then I get called Miss Middleton, and now I'm like, nah, I'm so petty that I think the Boston's taking over. I might vote somebody out if I had the opportunity to.
Yeah, they're angry there. You can make a case that people in your profession, my profession as well, like it better when they lose in that town when they actually win.
Oh, for sure. I mean, kind of, I think the joke on Twitter for the past couple of weeks was that people prayed so hard for the downfall of the Chiefs that it resurrected the Patriots dynasty. So I'm still kind of a hater, but whenever the teams are good here, it's so much more fun. I mean, you know how it is being from here. It's so much more fun. There's more parties. There's more money in the market. It's a really good time, and it's something that I crave so badly for the city of Jacksonville.
Catching up with Kendra Middleton. She's with 98.5, the Sports Hub in Boston. All right, you go around really the entire country, certainly in San Francisco. It's almost unanimous that Seattle is going to win this Super Bowl, that it could be a rout in a lot of circles. What do you make of this year's Super Bowl? And what's it like midweek back in Boston?
It's been really crazy here. I don't think it's sunk in that the Patriots were actually in the Super Bowl until their send-off parade on Sunday. It didn't really feel like there was as much buzz as the last championships I've covered here. I mean, I've been here 7 years, and I think that this is my fourth or fifth championship. Oh, my God, I've lost track. Like, there are second graders in Boston who haven't experienced a Patriots Super Bowl, you know? So it's been really crazy, but I don't think it hit people until kind of the send-off parade. But as far as this game goes, it's kind of cliche to say that I think it's going to come down to turnovers. I think that defense is going to play the biggest role in a Super Bowl that we've seen in quite some time, just because of the quarterbacks that we have, right? Like, Drake May has been a fumble machine in the postseason. So what version of him are we going to get? Sam Darnold, we know who he is and who he has been. Are we going to get who he is now, or who he was, or who he was even in the first 10 weeks of this season, or who he was the last, couple of weeks this season? Kind of a hot take. I really do think that Seattle's a better team here. But that being said, I really think it's kind of going to come down to one person and one person only, and that's Will Campbell. Can he keep his side of the line strong, keep Drake May upright, kind of prevent the fumble issues that he's had, and allow Drake May to cook? I mean, that's the other thing, too, is that the Patriots' run defense has been lights out. They've been incredible on the road, undefeated. But then you also look at what Drake May does really well, which is that beautiful deep ball that he throws, right? But the Seattle secondary, also really incredible. So I think that these teams really match up well against each other. And it's crazy to say it, but I think that it really is going to come down to Will Campbell.
Interesting. Their first-round draft pick out of LSU, and you make some really great points. And you go throughout it historically speaking, and I'm not going to compare this to Belichick Brady, but the teams that beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl had so much success rushing 4. And that's exactly what Seattle does. They're able to drop 7, and Drake May's been getting just destroyed. He's been sacked 5 games in each and one of these 3 playoff contests. I know he had a shoulder, then he was ill. He said all the right things today. What's your knowledge on his overall health for the game on Sunday?
So we actually had Dan Orlovsky on our afternoon show today, and he was saying that he's played through a sprained AC joint prior, and he said that it's nothing really to worry about. We had, I don't know if you know who Greg Bedard is, but he was also on our station last week kind of evaluating all of this, saying that it's not going to be a concern by game time. Orlovsky said that he's done it. It's just uncomfortable. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, especially because it's the last game of the season. It's not like they have the entirety of the postseason to look forward to or the rest of the season. This isn't happening mid-season. So even if it really is something that he's going to damage further and it's going to require him to rehab a little bit longer, it doesn't really matter. This is their time to go balls to the wall, to do the Toradol and call it a day. You have the entire offseason to rehab. This is all or nothing.
Comments from Duval's Kendra Middleton. Of course, she works now in Boston at 98.5. The Sports Hub. All right, defensively, even New England here, it's like, yeah, they're playing much better now than they did in the regular season, but, C.J. Stroud was all over the place. They got Jarrett Stidham. The offensive line of the Los Angeles Chargers was ripped apart in that first playoff game. the defense has absolutely improved, but again, it feels like credit, and I'm sure they could care less about credit. Maybe they use it as fuel, but it seems like
They
one of the
definitely use
national
it as
media,
fuel.
they just dumb it down and provide reasons why they've actually had this success.
Yeah, I think the defense to be what wins this game outside of Will Campbell kind of holding up right. If they can turn Sam Darnold into the, Jets version of Sam Darnold, I think that this is going to be a lot closer game than people are going to give the Patriots credit for. I mean, what a turnaround for Caleb on Chason also. Like, watching him in Jacksonville to who he is now. But the number one playmaker that I don't think national media is really giving enough attention to on this Patriots defense is Milton Williams, which is crazy because obviously Drake May is the most valuable player on this Patriots team, but the best player on this Patriots team is Milton Williams, and I absolutely expect him to be a game wrecker and a difference maker in this game. And if he has the game of his life, watch out. This Patriots defense, the biggest thing for me is, can the offense put up 20 points? And if the Patriots offense can, get over these struggles that they've had in the postseason, the defense plays lights out, that's going to be the thing for me. We know Seattle can go out there and score, but can Drake May put up the points to keep them in this game with the struggles that they've had at offensive line and the lack of weapons that he has at receiver? And obviously we've watched, the greats like Brady elevate receivers, and that's exactly what Drake May has done this season. But it's a different moment, different spotlight. The defense is going to have to come out prepared, but Milton Williams and this defense as a whole definitely deserves a little bit more national attention and national respect.
Wow, hopefully he shows up. They paid him a lot, and they paid a lot of those guys a lot of money this year on the open market during free agency. Getting a lot of reaction on both YouTube and our text line here from you, Kendra. Love Kendra. Kendra's awesome, but congratulations. You were called Miss at the beginning of the program. You are now considered by Jags faithful officially a turncoat for going to Boston.
That is too funny. I love the people of Jacksonville. They're my favorite. I'm so proud to be from Jacksonville. It is I was there a couple weeks ago when our home playoff game was there, and it just, every time I come home, it's like I never left.
Yeah, I've been called the turncoat forever, ever since I was 18 and went to Florida State. My Boston buddies got on me for that, so I think it's a badge of honor. Hey, Kendra, it's always a lot of fun. Thank you so much. I know we'll do it again soon.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me. I know you're cheering for your Patriots this weekend. I'm cheering for a party and a parade, so we can be lockstep in this. Love you, Duval County. I hope to see you guys again soon.
There she goes, Kendra Middleton, 98.5, the Sports Hub. And did she just say my Patriots? This isn't 1996 in the AFC Championship game. I can see it right now. Has Baloo been faking it the entire time? Is he really not in support of the team here? Hey, we'll let you people figure that out. And we'll also let you answer if you so desire. Two ways you can do so. Text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, 641-1010. Also on YouTube, 1010XL. And tonight, first time I was ever called a turncoat was instead of playing Babe Ruth baseball at Acton Boxborough, I went to nearby Lincoln Sudbury to play Legion. All right. And I wanted to play Legion because it was a better brand of baseball. I wanted to play Legion because you played basically every night. The difference is where I'm from is a little bit more blue collar. Lincoln Sudbury is a very wealthy town. Those kids slept till 11, got up, had batting cages in their backyards, where I was sweating it out with Vietnam vets from 6 a.m. until 3:34, and then finding my way to the yard for a baseball game that night. All right, tonight's show is brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. And, it's pretty basic when it comes down to it. If you have been injured, where's your support? Who is going to help you out? You may be intimidated. You may be flat out scared to pick up the phone and dial a law firm because you may think retainer fee. It's going to cost me $5,000. It's going to cost me $2,500, no matter what it in fact may be. That is never the case at the Alexander Law Practice. You never come out of pocket, okay? No retainer fee. Obviously, free call. Obviously, as well, a free sit down, a free consultation. And I want you to know that, because if you have been injured, whether it's physically, mentally, your car is a wreck, who knows what it could be. These are the type of questions you need to ask Rick Alexander, who does take on every single one of his cases. He's personally involved. He keeps a small log because of that very reason. 2 ways that you can get in contact with Rick Alexander. Alexander Law Practice or 400-6600. Again, that is always a free call, free consultation, and you never come out of pocket. There is never a retainer fee. All right, let's continue on. We got John Osher in 30 minutes. We'll get the very latest out there as far as the Jags. You know, one problem that happens a lot during the 2 weeks between Championship Sunday and the Super Bowl, and I'm to blame in this just like everyone else, is that there's so much time between the end of Championship Sunday and then the Super Bowl 2 weeks later that we often don't talk about the game. We often don't give the ins and outs or break down anything about the game. We're always looking for additional stories, sidebar stories, Belichick being left out of the Hall of Fame, etc. And I feel like we don't do enough of it. Not just myself. I'm talking about across the country. And to me, that's scary, because here we are Wednesday night. We have tonight, we have tomorrow, and we have Friday. That's it as far as the Super Bowl. And then it's going to be here. But, man, it is overwhelming right now, the feeling that Seattle is going to win this game, possibly in a rout. 4.5 wouldn't support that. It almost feels like the number is tomfoolery. If I was forced to bet it, absolutely, I would lay the 4.5 for Seattle in Super Bowl 60. All right, we got much more to do with you tonight up until 8 o'clock right here on 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
It's free window February with Renewal by Andersen. Right now, when you buy 4 replacement windows, you get the 5th for free. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. This offer expires February 28th. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com. Schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. The big game is almost here, and there's no better way to cash in during America's biggest sporting event than with Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. This week, Prize Picks has a special max discount for the big game. Drake May needs just 1 passing yard for the max discount to win. Just add another player to your lineup, and if your picks hit, you cash in. It's just that simple. And now Prize Picks has early payouts. If your lineup is off to a hot start, you have the option to cash out before the game even finishes. At Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. You can choose Flex Play and get paid even if one of your picks misses, or Power Play for the biggest payouts. And all Prize Picks withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today, use promo code 1010XL, and get $50 in lineups instantly when you play $5 in lineups. That's promo code 1010XL to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play $5 in lineups. Prize Picks, it's good to be right.
The toughest bulls, the bravest riders. For 8 seconds, it's all on the line. Glory or nothing. These are cowboys who face down danger, defy the odds, and push themselves beyond limits most wouldn't dare. This is their world, where legends are made on the backs of ranked bulls. It's bull time, Jacksonville. PBR Bucks into Five-Star Memorial Arena, February 20th and 21st. Get your tickets now at pbr.com/tickets.
It's a dream come true. Today's coverage of National Signing Day on 1010XL is brought to you by Baker Glass and Flame Broiler. Listen all day for updates and find out where our high school athletes will take their talents this fall.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jimi Hendrix, for the first time he lit the guitar on fire. It was in San Francisco. An outdoor show. Only made 4 albums. Can you imagine how just incredible his, his overall career would have been? It's one of the shortest careers. We talk about short careers all the time. You know, Tony Baselli, Kirby Puckett, Bobby Orr, Sandy Koufax, the Jim Brown, Barry Sanders. Okay, the last two just walked out healthy, which hopefully has paid dividends for them over the years. Barry Sanders, the guy seems like he never took a hit. He always made the first guy miss. But anyway, the great Jimi Hendrix, who's from Seattle, as we know, but certainly became famous here in the States and did a lot of great stuff there at the Hollywood Bowl in L.A., also in San Francisco. No doubt about it. All right, so people are exposing me here on the text line and on Twitter and on YouTube. And frankly, I may have opened myself up for the criticism, or it could have been a scud that came moments ago from Kendra Middleton. It is that, in fact, I've been hiding it forever and that I really am a New England Patriots fan. Moon Dark Sid says, Rick, if we find out you've been faking your Jaguars fandom and are still a Patriots fan through and through, what shall we do? Well, I think the answer's simple. Beat the living tar out of me, right? I mean, for crying out loud. I can't think of anything else. Maybe you can, Aaron. I mean, I think fist to face work in this situation. How dare I fake something of this significance?
I wouldn't think you would fake it, but being from up there, I'm sure you got to have some love for them over there.
Well, there's no doubt I want them to beat Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay. And, I came back and I made up my mind because I wasn't a Pats fan when I was here on the ball. I wasn't a Jags fan. In the 96 AFC Championship game, I rooted for the Patriots. I can't erase history, and I'm not going to try to lie to you. What advantage would that ever give me by, copping out? It is what it is. And by the way, I was very disliked on the ball because I was a Florida State fan, which is not supposed to happen in a Gator town. And when it got to that particular situation, I let everyone know that I was pulling for the New England Patriots. Okay, that changed. And when I elected to come back here, I knew that it was going to be my last step, and this would be it, and that I was going to die in Duval. And I had to embrace it and take on somewhat of a different approach. I always try to be honest. I always try to be objective. But I'll tell you, I got back in 07, and there was, a couple of good years under Del Rio. Then they kind of flatlined again under Gus and
Doug Marrone and all that type of stuff. And I was still really, for the Jags, but it was hard when they were losing all these games. I honestly believe the time that I knew myself was being on the field for that AFC Championship game in January of 2018. And in between the third and fourth quarter, when in Bob Kraft's booth, John Bon Jovi got up and the entire crowd started singing Living on a Prayer, I knew right then that I absolutely wanted the Jaguars to win. And they had the lead at that time. Remember, Nate Hackett just put together the worst game plan in the history of Jaguars football in that fourth quarter. So that's when it really did officially hit me. And now whether you want to buy that or not, that's up to you. You may think, I'm just kind of playing the role here. Mr. Know-It-All says, notice Rick never said Miles Jack wasn't down. That's flat out wrong. Okay? I've said it many times. As a matter of fact, I've told you that you should never let that go. A former player that I had a conversation with said, let it go. Turn the page. And I was like, no way. There's no way. Again, I'm not turning the page on wide rights. I'm not turning the page on Bucky Dent. I'm not turning the page on Bill Buckner. I'm not turning the page on Miles Jack wasn't down. And neither should you. You should never be told to get over it. You should take that with you to the wooden box. So that's wrong, Mr. Know-It-All. I appreciate you getting after me, but I got to call it the way that it is. He also goes on to say here, I don't want to go to jail for elderly abuse of Rick Ballou. Even if I ask for it. All right. I'm not a Pats fan on Rick's head. That's pretty good. I'm betting New England. Well, hey, listen. If you were to just give me 10 grand and say you have to bet it on this game, I'm betting Seattle minus 4.5. I am. And I don't like laying points like that. I just don't. I've been an underdog guy. Actually, in the NFL, I've always played totals. That was my success years ago. 46, 45.5. We'll check in with the Philly Godfather tomorrow on this. We'll also hear from Rafael Esparza on some props. Philly Godfather already came out with one prop. Played Drake May in an interception. I think it's going to cost you $1.30 to the dollar. But I tend to believe that is going to happen. He's going to throw at least one pick in this game. But yeah, 4.5 points, no doubt, without even thinking about it. I would play the Seahawks. How about you? If I gave you 10 grand, 4.5 points, which way are you going?
If I had to bet?
Yep. You had to bet.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Seattle. But
they're a better team.
They are, but the Patriots defense needs some credit. They're good.
Yeah.
They're real good. And the running game for New England is very good too. And Seattle at times hasn't been the best against the run. So don't be surprised if the Patriots can rip off a couple.
Tom Coughlin's New York Giants. And again, this is years and years ago. It doesn't apply except just to acknowledge. And again, they were freak plays. I mean, I actually responded to Asante Samuel today. Asante Samuel just keeps popping off. I mean, he lost the Super Bowl for the Patriots. He dropped an interception. The very next play was the David Tyree helmet, ball to helmet. And Samuel just pops off all the time on Twitter. And I understand that Bill Buckner's gone. He's passed. But at least he showed some class. Can you imagine if Bill Buckner kept popping off, if social media was really in before he went away, before he, moved on to heaven? No, he moved to like Idaho, and it really depressed him for the remainder of his life after he made that error, where Asante Samuel cost them a Super Bowl. And man, he just runs it and trolls it unlike anyone I've ever seen. I mean, total lack of respect for him. Where's your integrity? New York won by rushing 4. Tom Coughlin and those great defenses, they were able to drop 7. And that was the difference. And again, 2 highlight, just absolute magical grabs that they had. I thought it was a little bit different with Philadelphia. Philadelphia was so aggressive, and they tried to win that Super Bowl. Okay, they went for it on 4th down. Again, I think Nick Foles and I think Doug Peterson looked at the AFC Championship game and were probably amazed at how sissy-like Doug Marrone, who's coaching the offensive line now in New England, and Nate Hackett, who got a job today. He's an offensive coordinator. I don't know who signed. Was it Arizona?
Yeah.
I mean, how does this guy still get jobs?
That's what I said.
I mean, how does this guy still get hired? What he did in the 4th quarter of that AFC Championship game should bother Jaguars fans almost as much as Miles Jack wasn't down.
You brought up Philadelphia just a moment ago. I just got a tweet here from Adam Schefter that Jeff Stoutman is leaving the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah. So their offensive line coach. With the offensive line, or that offensive line has been the focal point, and Stoutman's been a big problem or a big component of that. So
it's been enormous.
Oh yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how they decide to change that going forward.
All right. So there you have it. Again, if you want to continue to pile on, you can. And, the tone of the show, typically, negativity works. We like it around here. We like to humble ourselves around here. And if you want to call me out for just this, that's fine. It is. I can accept it. I'll make no bones about it. I would like to see New England win this Super Bowl. If I was a betting man, there's no doubt I would cast a huge bet on Seattle. Hey, speaking of baseball, I mentioned Bill Buckner. Mickey Lolich died today. For those of you who are not old enough, hop on the Google. This guy in 1968, okay, the same year that Denny McLain won 30 games. He won 31, actually. Won the Cy Young, the last guy to ever win 30-plus games as a starting pitcher in Major League Baseball. That season, Mickey Lolich threw 3 victorious complete games for the Detroit Tigers, including going to St. Louis and outdueling Bob Gibson in Game 7. Bob Gibson is if I could go back in the time, if you allowed me to watch one pitcher in the history of Major League Baseball, it wouldn't be Cy Young or Walter Johnson or Christy Mathewson or Satchel Paige or Juan Marshall or Sandy Koufax or Don Drysdale. It'd be Bob Gibson. One of the only non-Boston Florida State posters in my bar. I have a 1969 Bob Gibson poster. I also have a 1969 Lou Brock poster that are absolutely sensational. Would have loved to have seen Bob Gibson pitch. Mickey Lolich beat him. World Series MVP, won 220 games in his career, had more than 2,800 career strikeouts. He's arguably a Hall of Famer, especially as lenient as they've been lately. But they announced his passing today, the Tigers did, at the age of 85. So you want to look at some pretty cool stuff? Just Google Mickey Lolich, particularly the 1968 season, because, the Cardinals beat the Red Sox in 67, Bob Gibson better than Jim Lomborg. And then in 68, it was Detroit, that stellar team that the Tigers did have, knocking off St. Louis in 7 games.
The past comes to life in the present.
And the Jaguars are going to the playoffs.
The memories bridge the gap to the future.
From 27-0 to win the game.
Experience the most play-by-play sports on 1010XL.
Insurance companies have teams of lawyers working to protect their bottom line. I'm Chris Campione of Campione Law, and you deserve someone just as focused on protecting your bottom line. We go head-to-head with insurance companies every day, and they know our name. Giving you peace of mind and delivering results is our job. With no fees unless we win, there's no risk to get the help you need. Visit CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 4th, 1991, the Baseball Hall of Fame Board of Directors voted 12-0 to bar Pete Rose from the Hall of Fame due to his betting on games while he was a player and a manager.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. Thank you for trusting us for 55 years of custom welding fabrication and vehicle towing accessories. When you need a trailer hitch for the family car, a gooseneck for the company truck, or even RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We can do a bumper hitch, fifth wheel hitch, anything for safe, reliable towing. Come to Cannons of Jacks, where service is our #1 priority and we treat our customers as we like to be treated. Check us out online, cannonsofjacks.com.
Attention sports fans! Are you ready to take your game to the next level? Look no further than Best Bet. You can bet anywhere, but you'll definitely win here. Experience the thrill of sports like never before. With all the big games broadcasting live on our big screens and a menu stacked with your favorite foods and refreshing drinks, you're sure to find your winning ticket. Bet anywhere, win here, only at Best Bet. Visit bestbetjacks.com to learn more. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hey, it's Taylor. Valentine's Day is quickly approaching. Don't fall into the same routine of last-minute grocery store runs, picked-over flowers, and forgettable chocolates. Make a new play this year with a gift from Peterbrook Chocolatier. Choose from beautifully crafted artisan chocolates or a gift basket filled with the perfect mix of sweet, salty, crunchy, and creamy treats. With 15 North Florida locations, you likely drove past one today. Up your game this Valentine's Day with a gift that truly impresses. Find your closest location at peterbrook.com. That's peterbrook.com.
Royal Pest Services, a local company you can trust. Royal Pest is a certified installer of tap insulation, which stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Reduce that electric bill by adding pest protection. It's that easy. Online at royalpestservices.com.
I'm Carl. I'm 68 years old, and I lost 40 pounds thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. And looking at pictures, I realized that my color wasn't good. I looked bloated, constantly tired, out of breath. It got to the point where I decided it was time to pick up the phone and call Awaken 180. The combination of the diet and the coaching really pushed me over the top. My self-confidence soared. I'm walking, I'm working out. Instead of 68, I feel like I'm 28. I just had my annual physical and my doctor looked at my blood pressure and he said, "What did you do? What happened?" And I explained that I'm on the Awaken 180 program. I've never felt so good in my life. And as somebody that sometimes likes to take the shortcut, I didn't have to do that with this program. Awaken 180 is my solution for weight loss.
Carl's solution for weight loss. My daughter Amber's solution for weight loss. Lowered blood pressure, increased confidence, feeling years younger. Not a temporary fix, a solution. Want the same results? Then choose Awaken 180 online at awaken180weightloss.com.
We've all been there. You hear about an incredible event Monday morning, but it happens Sunday. Stop missing out. Jacksonville is the flip side of Florida, and we have the solution. From under-the-radar sporting events to the perfect family outing or date night, Visit Jacksonville is your all-access pass to the city. Plan your 2026 season at visitjacksonville.com/locals. visitjacksonville.com/locals. Or download the Visit Jacks app for the full lineup. See what you've been missing.
Coach Campo here, and I just want to tell you about the best pizza I've had right here in Duval, and that's Tony D's Pizza. Tony works hard to make every slice perfect. If you love pizza like I do, you need to go to Tony D's, Bay Meadows and 295.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Everything changes, right? Of course it does. This used to be one of my favorite days, period, of the year. National Letter of Intent Day, back when you had one enormous morning and afternoon in the world of college football recruiting. I have barely paid attention. It's amazing how all of that does transpire. Some interesting props. The most popular ones are total pelvic thrusts by Bad Bunny, 2.5. Gonna have to play the over there. Will they mention Sam Darnold's red hair? Plus 600 is yes. Minus 1,500 is no. That's mysterious to me. Length of the national anthem, 1 minute and 25 seconds. All right. Which will be higher, Stephon Diggs' receptions at plus 165 or Stephon Diggs' children at 6? That's minus 220. Who had the longest punt return? Marcus Jones plus 110. Rashid Shaheed was just out of control at minus 150. Both are really good, but Shaheed is scary. Which artists will go into the first break? Well, they got 4 here from Seattle, right? Pearl Jam, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden. How about none of the above? How about Jimi Hendrix? Can we add that? Can we write it in? Will the Seahawks attempt to pass from the opponent's 1-yard line? That is brilliant. We all remember what happened 11 years ago. All you got to do is hand it off to beast mode. All you got to do is give it to Marshawn Lynch. And they did not. Instead, you had the pick by Malcolm Butler. So, how many times did Terry McAuley be consulted? 2.5. Absolutely over. That one almost looks too easy for me as far as situations with the referee and, going above, going to the eye of the sky, getting everything. Roger Goodell told us on, Monday that AI is coming into play with the officials. All right, let's get ready for John Osher. Let's do this. This is right, Rick. He feeds off negative BS. You could offer him $1 million and say, Blue, what a great career. I believe you deserves this. And so you can retire happy. He would be like, yeah, but how do I stay away from Rosie O'Donnell? I may be visiting Rosie O'Donnell. Kind of. I've received a tip. And I don't want to say too much now. I don't want to do it because it's a ways away. It's actually going to be in 2027. But it involves Ireland. And it involves the listeners of 92.5 FM. Can you imagine that? Details to come, not tonight, but in the very near future. So we can go looking for Rosie O'Donnell. Here's my deal. I would check Irish bars. I would certainly check buffets.
1010XL, where even strike 2 sounds great.
Greenlaw Group is for the insured. If you think you have roof damage, call 904-302-7055 today, and they will schedule you a free roof inspection. Trust their law firm to help you fight your insurance when you need it. These storms can cause damage you may not even see yet. Call Greenlaw Group, 302-7055. There's no cost to retain their law firm and no cost to have your roof inspected. They only get paid if you win. Greenlaw Group, for the insured.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Put a little hot sauce on your lunchtime listening. Spicy. Joe Coward, Matt Hayden, and Leon Searcy. They are XL Prime Time.
4-alarm fire.
From the big #1 Duval Ford Studios. Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too. From Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Zero Res Month of Love sale. Hicken here. Not only is your carpet one of the biggest investments in your home, it's also the biggest air filter in your home. If your carpet hasn't been professionally cleaned, you're breathing unhealthy levels of nasty dirt, dander, bacteria, and germs that keep recirculating again and again. Lucky for you, Zero Res is going to spread the love to you and your home. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $149. Book online at ZeroResJacksonville.com and say you want the 1010XL or Dan Hicken special.
Zero Res.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Roses are red, Florida gets hotter, and your AC is about to ruin the mood. If your system barely survived last summer, now's the time to replace it before the real heat comes back swinging. Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning makes it easy. No surprises, no runaround. And with our Sweetheart AC deals, get $750 off a new AC system when you install by March 15th. Fall in love with an AC that keeps it cool without the stress and call now for a free estimate. 904-862-6769, duckrooter.com.
Hey gang, Hicken here. Guys, listen up. Valentine's is coming. You want to be a hero this year with something really romantic? It's easier than you think at Beards Diamonds. Beards has put together a stunning selection of timeless, affordable jewelry she'll absolutely love. Dazzling rings, sparkling earrings, elegant pendants and bracelets set with brilliant diamonds or colorful gemstones. Classic gold that never goes out of style. And you can't beat the wow factor of top brand designer jewelry. They got it all at Beards. And here's the best part right now. Save up to 40% on all diamond stud earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets. You know, cards, flowers, and candy are sweet, but nothing says I love you forever like a sparkling gift she'll wear and cherish every single day. Plus, Beards is your local Jacksonville jeweler, family-owned and community-strong for more than 45 years right here in the St. John's Town Center, not some Wall Street chain. Hurry in today. Don't wait. Beards Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center. Get up to 40% off diamond earrings, pendants, and tennis bracelets.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, busy first hour. Thinking to Kendra Middleton. She ain't no turncoat, says the 6679. I would agree. Got a great career working in a phenomenal sports city. I was happy to be in my hometown at night for 7 years. We were the home of the Celtics during those years back in Boston, but there's no place I'd rather be right here than Duval. Some questioning my loyalty. Am I really a Patriots fan? After Kendra Middleton said, good luck to your team. So, and I'm not even trying to excuse myself out of this. I'm just taking it. Okay. If you feel that way, go ahead. Throw your punch. I can take it. 68-43, 98.5, the Sports Hub. Listen to them when I lived in New England. I'll never forget Jay Maserati. Is it Jay Mariotti or is it the guy who's on with Felger and Maz? It's probably him. Complaining in the lead up to the 2017 AFC Championship game, the Patriots Super Bowl video would have to include the Jags. Yeah, that sounds about right. They have no respect for Jacksonville. They also have no respect for Houston. They got Houston an awful lot during the, dynasty years, and they always destroyed Houston. But they absolutely had zero respect for them. I don't think there's any question about it. Baloo, San Francisco bands, the Grateful Dead, Jefferson Airplane, just my guess. Well, how about Creedence Clearwater Revival? How about Journey? Right? How about Santana? The Mamas and the Papas. Sly and the Family Stone. The Doobies are from San Francisco. I think Metallica is from San Francisco and maybe even Green Day. So, yeah, just an absolute ton of bands from Northern California, including right smack dab there in San Francisco. San Francisco offers a lot, and it's got its problems. Then again, what city doesn't? But there's a lot of things out there that I really do enjoy in San Francisco. And it is one city that'll drop 40 degrees on you in like no time. Okay. And, there's cold and then there's wind with cold. And, man, brutally, windy in San Francisco. I like the city, though. It continues to get destroyed. I don't get it. I like it. 0976 Blue. Honest question. Why is John Bon Jovi such a Pats fan? He's a Jersey guy, so it would seem he'd be a Giants, Jets, or Eagles. I don't know. I think he's tight with Belichick. I think he's tight with Kraft. I do not know the answer to that question. 74-28 Blue. I gave Buckner a break. If you watch the replay, the white ball bounces to Buckner, but as he is about to make the play, the white first base was right behind the ball, so they were lined up. I think that just threw him off a tad bit, just saying. Listen, for anyone who remembers, they don't get there without Bill Buckner. I mean, look at his career. He arguably puts up close to Hall of Fame numbers. It's just he's always going to be remembered for that. There are certain... Morton Anderson's a Hall of Famer. He's one of 4 kickers that's in, if you include the punter Ray Guy. I think it's only Stenerud, Jan Stenerud. I want to say Morton Anderson. I believe George Bland is in, Ray Guy. And we'll see what ends up happening. A couple are going to absolutely get in. Vinatieri could get in this year. But certainly around here, I mean, everyone remembers Morton Anderson for missing the PAT. Chris Webber, man. All you remember is the timeout, right? Who else falls into that category of a guy who had a very good career, if not a Hall of Fame career, a spectacular one nonetheless, but is remembered for a massive error or a massive mistake? Think of any here?
Off the top of my head, no.
Those are a few right there. Mitch Williams gave up the home run to Joe Carter, but, Mitch Williams wasn't anywhere near Hall of Fame stat. By the way, Joe Carter, if you're putting all these cats in, Joe Carter should be in. He should be in there right there with Dave, Dale Murphy and Steve Garvey and players like that. I mean, if you're putting in the Scott Rowlands, if you're putting in the Jeff Kents, it's time to put these type of guys in. The dam is broken. You've watered it down. The Hall of Fame is watered down. It's going to be announced tomorrow. I mean, you're going to have Roger Craig, Ken Anderson, and L.C. Greenwood get in. It could be all 3. It could be 2 to 3. It could be 1 of the 3. Okay? I mean, their careers ended like 30 years ago. What took so long? Don't understand it. 84-46. Mike Mussina had very good pitch placement. Most recognized Greg Maddux would be in the placement pit. Mussina, I think he quit after a 20-win season and 280 career wins. He could have won 300 games if he elected to hang on, and he didn't. Of course, Mike Mussina is a Hall of Famer. Leon Lett. Oh, there's a good one. There's an outstanding one from the 0107. 33-63. Canseco, the ball off his head. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Remember the snow game against Miami when you had the blocked field goal? And also getting run down by Don Beebe in the Super Bowl. Yes. So he's actually got 2.
What year was that?
Oh, man. The Bills lost, 4 in the 90s?
Yeah.
So,
which I still think is crazy.
Probably mid-90s when that actually...
That was probably like 3. Hold on.
Did take place. 84-46, not a mistake, but Leftwich being carried to the line of scrimmage. Absolutely, at Marshall. I want to say that was a night game on a weeknight. I want to say I was live on air when that happened in Chicago. Not sure. Don't quote me on it. Merriman. Are you talking about the hit by MJD? If so, okay. Manti Te'o, Peter Warwick, more college, though. Not sure what that means.
By the way, it was in 1993, the year I was born, in November. So I was 10 months old.
And I was a rout. Is that the final score there? It was a big time score for Dallas. And they win that by 3+ touchdowns or something like that.
No. I think this is the one where it was close. The Cowboys were leading 14-13 at the time.
Okay. Well, Norwood missed one against the Giants. You have that one there. I thought one was a little bit one-sided as far as the score. Mark Andrews' drop might be a new one. Okay. Was it Jackie Smith of the Dallas Cowboys who had one in the end zone when they lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Want to say that name is correct, and that was when I was very young, in the 70s. But that's historic if you look at, blunders in the Super Bowl. Absolutely what happened there. But Dale Murphy won back-to-back MVPs, like 5 Gold Gloves, and he was arguably the best player in the 80s. And he started as a catcher. I think there needs to be more respect for catchers. I know he moved, and there's not a tremendous amount of Hall of Famers that have played 2 positions if it didn't include for first base. You had a lot of outfielders and what have you that, wrapped up their career at first base, right? Dale Murphy, catcher and outfielder. Robin Yount, shortstop and outfielder. You look at others, I guess Al Kaline would, part of that 68 Detroit team, did some outfield third base. There's been a few, but not like Dale Murphy. 74-28, Randy Johnson throwing the pitch and hitting the bird. Yes. Didn't everyone get all fired up about that? Not only bird watchers, but, I think that's officially the day that complaining began. Like that was the intent of Randy Johnson to do something like that. I got one for you. How about Tanya Harding? Was it Jeff Goulet? Was that his name? Or Jeff Galooly? Whatever. Remember the hatchet job? The steel pipe? Crying out loud, it was like Dusty Rhodes going to a steel pipe. Arn Anderson doubling up on the Nature Boy with Tanya Harding. I remember I had her on in Chicago too. She actually took on a career as a fighter for a little bit. They put her in the squared circle and had her fight for paychecks. 68-26, Jackson rocking the goalpost before Morton Anderson's miss. There's no doubt. That's one of the great memories here historically. There's just no question about it. That was great. When I think of the Jaguars and some of their best moments, that one, Natrone Means running against Buffalo, Leonard Fournette running against Pittsburgh. The week before that was a kind of a lame 10-3 win over Buffalo. I hate to say it, but the one thing that really sticks out to me is the Jalen Ramsey pick. It wasn't the Blake Bortles touchdown to Ben Koyak. The Sammy Sosa corked bat. Wow. That is impressive. 27-17. Who's the guy who had the corked bat and all the little pebbles popped out? That was sensational as well. Boy, I was in. You know what? The Sammy Sosa deal, in my opinion, Sosa, McGuire that year, they saved baseball. And then, everyone else started hitting 60 and 50s, Griffey and Bonds. And Sosa was so beloved. Baseball is a little bit subdued, obviously. But when Sammy Sosa ran out of the dugout to begin a game to right field, it's one of the coolest moments in the history of baseball. It was insane. The bleacher creatures loved it. The right field line loved it. And Sosa was forgiven for the corked bat. He was forgiven for the steroids. You know what got Sammy Sosa? Surveillance. The final game of the year showed him getting up and leaving the team while they were playing a game. That's what offended Cubs fans. Not that he cheated several times. They accepted that. It's that he gave up on his teammates, knowing that that was it for him in his career, and didn't stick it out in the locker room. So, or on the bench. Dennis Eckersley's home run to Kirk Gibson. Dennis Eckersley, man. I want to say he won 200 games as a starter. He was, by the way, you know, he was traded for Bill Buckner. Straight up, Boston and Chicago. Boston had Eckersley. He started in Cleveland. Then Eckersley went to Boston. They traded him to the Cubs. The Cubs traded Buckner to Boston. Both revived their careers. Actually, to look at it, Buckner's career was always steady. Eckersley fell on some tough times until he went, obviously, to Oakland and became one of the dominant closers in the history of Major League Baseball. 68-26. Love rocking the Bad Show. The Bad Show was a whole heck of a lot of fun. I couldn't do the Bad Show today. I got too much to lose. There's too many of you people out there nowadays who just want to cancel me. Things I said then, thank God that disappeared into air.
Come on, you, Rick?
Oh, I mean, I don't even need to mention it. Okay? But here's the deal. I had nothing to lose. Nothing. I made squat, and I didn't have a family. So I took chances, massive chances. And I don't regret any of it. Bo Jackson, steamrolling Boz, 1108. Absolutely. What a spectacular with that. Bo Jackson's got quite a few. How about when he threw out Harold Reynolds at home plate from the warning track? You want to Google a great highlight? Pull up Bo Jackson throwing out Harold Reynolds. I think Harold Reynolds back on MLB Network. Boy, I miss the old days of baseball tonight. I really do. When it was Peter Gammons and Ravitch and Harold Reynolds, and then it was John Kruk. I mean, that was really, really, really good. ESPN was so good. And then, you didn't need a punchline then. Harold Reynolds could deliver a highlight. Peter Gammons could deliver a highlight and provide analysis about a game. And it was thorough. It was, in my opinion, very informative. Today, it's about, stepping up with a punchline. Garo Yepremian. Old school. Miami Dolphins kicker. Right? Bad snap, trying to throw that football away. Schilling the bloody sock. Oh, I love it. Oh, I absolutely love it. Between 86 and 04. 1986, the same Bill Buckner lost World Series. Roger Clemens, Game 6, removes himself because of a blister. Nearly 20 years later, Curt Schilling can barely crawl. He absolutely can't walk. Right outside the stadium, there's a couple of folks there on a union-based construction crew. They jackhammer the ligament to the bone. They take out some duct tape, wrap it around his ankle, and he goes out and shuts down the New York Yankees. Shuts them down. That's a tough guy. That's Curt Schilling. And he's not going to go to the Hall of Fame. God forbid. His politics are different from the voters.
The nominees for Best Supporting Actress are
Lauren Brooks and Taylor Dahl. With Tom McManus on Helmets and Heels. 2 to 4 weekdays on 1010XL.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnick Buick GMC is proud to be the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville, earned by treating customers with courtesy, respect, and fairness. All part of Nimnick's Treating You Right guarantee. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. For 3 generations, Nimnick has been the place customers keep coming back to. They treat you right, and they give a bunch back to the community. Visit NimnickBuickGMC.com today to learn more or visit their showroom off Phillips Highway. GMC, we are professional grade.
Like many football fans in Jacksonville, I love defense. I am attorney Lee Lockett, and I'm here to tell you that defense in the courtroom is important as well. That's because penalties for DUI are much more serious than penalties on the gridiron. If you or someone you know is facing a DUI, call us for a free case analysis now. Know before you blow 858-9818. Put my more than 20 years of experience to work for you. Office is Jacksonville, serving all surrounding counties. Call 858-9818 or go to knowbeforeyoublow.com.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On February 4th, 1991, the Baseball Hall of Fame Board of Directors voted 12-0 to bar Pete Rose from the Hall of Fame due to his betting on games while he was a player and a manager.
Hello, I'm Ed Jackson, president of Ned Jackson Income Tax. Ned Jackson Income Tax has been preparing tax returns in Jacksonville for over 80 years. Our tax preparers at Ned Jackson Income Tax have years of knowledge and experience to help you get your highest possible tax refund and are fully trained on all IRS updates, including the One Big Beautiful Bill. Visit one of Ned Jackson's 4 locations, including our downtown office at 255 North Liberty Street. That's Ned Jackson Income Tax, 356-0349.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, company mascot at your service.
There are 2 important steps to installing the perfect garage floor. The 2-stage coating application? Sure. But nothing is more important than preparing the floor. Our team uses diamond grinding machines to grind your floors to a smooth, level finish. Only then can we...
Hold on! You grind garage floors with perfectly lovely diamonds?
No, Chester. We grind floors to perfection using the very best ugly diamonds. Too ugly for jewelry, but perfect for the grinding pads we use to prep the surface.
Perfect preparation and application. Now that's a perfect marriage.
Ugly diamonds?
Check. Perfect preparation?
Check. Smooth, gorgeous, gleaming floors that really catch your eye? Checkmate! Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate. Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
I'm starting to realize being a homeowner isn't all upside, Jason.
I mean, it does give you a place to live.
Yeah, but now suddenly I need to know the names of all the people I need to look after my house.
Like who?
Like if my air conditioner breaks in the middle of the heat wave, I need to know who I call to fix it.
That's me. You know me.
But what if my water heater dies or my toilet backs up?
That would also be me. Bueller Air and Plumbing.
Okay, fine, but what about my duct cleaning and my water filtration and my sewer drain? Where am I going to find all those guys if something goes wrong? I'm just a guy with a house and a dream and...
This pair of sunglasses.
Whoa.
Bueller Air and Plumbing is the only name you need to know. Our club members even get 2 free visits a year, so you know we're there when you need us.
Well, that's cool.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
This is the home of the Florida Gators. Get your Gators hoops on 1010XL. Brought to you by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. 1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Got Derek Truck song last night, talking about one of the 2 remaining members of the Grateful Dead. Told us that yesterday. Tickets are on sale for Tedeschi Trucks. Their concert here in town, St. Aug Amp in October. Also a brand new album coming up in March. Carlos Santana, also from San Francisco. I think I told you about the story. I know I told you about the story that while playing golf with Derek Trucks, he sent a picture of himself kissing the Larry O'Brien trophy when Sacramento knocked off Boston. That was because his wife, Susan Tedeschi, is a big Bostonian. No doubt about it. Who's more popular, Tonya Harding or Nancy Kerrigan? Nancy Kerrigan really hurt herself in that Disney video that popped up. It was like ahead of its time as far as going viral. She was like beside herself. I don't think the weather cooperated, but she really came across as like a spoiled, whiny aristocrat. And it hurt her a little bit. I mean, she should have been, just enormous. She was a victim who had success after the fact. How about the Brett Butler Pantera bad incident? I'm going to need an explanation there, 1629. I unfortunately don't remember it. Tonya Harding made an appearance at a Sun game in 2001. It also just happened to be mini bat night. And she was signing people's bats. Unbelievable. Great marketing. I love marketing with, minor league athletics. Come up with some phenomenal ideas. 0107, below the pole vaulter from the Summer Olympics, who knocked the bar off with his, let's just say, below the belt. 0016, below more college football, though, and they're college football Hall of Famers and NFL greats. Okay, no doubt. Absolutely. Rick, 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars look in the mirror. They see the AFC champion New England Patriots. The Jaguars are better than the New England Patriots. I think they're better than the Buffalo Bills. I think you can really make a case that they should be repping the Super Bowl. And I know that's hard to do considering they would have had to have won 3 games. And the last 2 would have been on the road. But I like them better than Buffalo. Buffalo had the best player in the game in Josh Allen. I thought Jacksonville was the better team. And, they made some mistakes. You can go to Miles Jack wasn't down. Just like you can go to why didn't they kick the field goal or why did they abandon the run? But still, in that game in 2018, it was 3rd and 18. And Brady hit Danny Amendola against that outstanding Jaguars defense. Well, we saw what happened late in the 4th quarter here 3 weeks ago, whatever it was. You can't allow Brandon Cooks, especially at his age, to get behind the defense the way that he did. And whose fault was it? Gone back and forth. Was it Greg Newsome? Was it the safety not giving coverage over the top? 8767, the Netflix documentary Miracle is awesome. I bet. I'm going to have to give that a watch. Just tell you, for the youngsters out there listening, how much things have changed. Do you realize that when the 1980 United States hockey team beat the Russians, we didn't see it until much later? It was on tape. And I swear to this, I was at playing hockey myself. I would have been, 10, 11, and playing hockey. And I remember this like it was yesterday. It was an overfed mother just started screaming that we beat the Russians. And it was totally unthought of. And it was just incredible because Boston had 4 guys on the team that were from there, including Jim Craig, the goaltender. But we didn't see it until later. Went home and watched it. Al Michaels the call. Ken Dryden, we lost him a year ago. Canadian Ken Dryden. I'm not going to get into a conversation about that, but they couldn't find someone from the States? It's like the same deal with the Notre Dame broadcast. Are you trying to tell me you can't find a former Fighting Irish? I mean, you went through the years of Pat Hayden at USC. You've gone through the years of Doug Flutie at BC. It's Notre freaking Dame. I mean, they create rules for Notre Dame. There's no one out there? Maybe make it a 3-man booth with Manti Te'o and his girlfriend. What do you think? That'd be pretty good. She could provide the sideline reports.
Oh, man.
2006. That's why they call it college football now. It's a joke. The colleges can't give up money, and that's why no one cares anymore. They shouldn't let the kids go to college unless they want to. Yet, listen, you're saying all the right things. It doesn't apply. It doesn't. I'm going to stop you right there. It's a totally new world. That's why I just said to youngsters out there listening that they probably cannot believe that back in 1980, something as significant as that victory was way more than tape delayed. It was like a 6, 7, 8 hour tape delay. Just incredible if you look at it. Jameis throwing a player throwing from right field. What a rifle. I've seen the highlight on Jameis Winston, and he came here. It was either 1 year or 2 years. But, and he warmed up in the bullpen. He actually pitched an inning here in Jacksonville.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did with Florida State. Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. I went over there and watched it. I was doing afternoons then. And
was he a good ball player in baseball?
He was a little raw.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been a ton of Florida State quarterbacks who went on to play baseball. Chris Wenke came back.
Yep.
Kenny Felder got drafted, never made it, but he was a quarterback.
Did Chris Ricks play baseball?
Nope.
Oh.
Chris Ricks did not. Danny Cannell did. Gave it up after a couple of years. Joe Mauer went to the same high school in Minnesota as Chris Wenke and was thought of to be just a phenomenal quarterback. I mean, he was like #1 USA Today. He was all this, all that, but obviously he made the right decision. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I believe he comes up next year on the ballot and spent his entire career in his hometown of Minnesota. 60-84 Blue. It feels like the second round will be a lot of wide receivers selected. I think Caleb Banks will be long gone, but maybe there's a chance. Get a defensive line dropped by the Jags. Give me the hibby-jibbies, but I think he can become a dominant defensive line. Rick, the DTs, who do you like for the Jags? I just started to dive into some of those numbers and some of those players. I've had a lot of people ask me about the kid at Florida State who transferred from Miami at number 56. My initial response there would be nah. Heck no. He took plays off. I want a guy at defensive tackle whose motor is always running. And, I don't think they can reach at that position considering the former regime absolutely did reach when it comes to Mason Smith. That is a big-time problem right now for the Jaguars. I mean, what are they going to do? You're not going to send him packing because he's cost-effective. However, can they get anything out of him? They've gotten stuff out of players in this system that weren't left for nothing, but it just felt like their time had passed by. And Darrell Jackson Jr. is who I'm thinking about. Dante Corleone is the guy out of Cincinnati that I've read a lot about. Christian Miller, who played at Georgia, is a guy that I've heard a lot about. And once again, they're kind of tweeners there. They're not, so to speak, they're not defensive tackles, so to speak. They're guys who moved along the defensive line. Or I guess I should say project to play along the defensive line at the very next level. We got a ton of that to get into in the in the days and the weeks to come when it comes to really evaluating the draft as well as what they're going to do in free agency, which I would be surprised if they do anything at all. 3525 does ask me that question. Does a new rise in the cap space help the Jags at all? Expect any wild cuts? Yes and yes. It helps them, but Trent Baalke has put them in a very difficult situation by freely spending over the last couple of years. They're already $43 million deep in dead money. I think they will make some moves. Right now, it makes sense to me to cut Eric Armstead with the post-first designation and recoup $14.4 million. I think that's really important in the, in the long-running landscape of things for the defense. And, I tell you what is really, really going to be, to me, fascinating is bottom of the roster guys, not only on the 53, but also financially speaking. It's not a lot of money. It doesn't break the bank either way. But when you start to look at guys like a local, Cooper Hodges, is it worth saying goodbye, bringing back $1.1 million to use under the cap, and eat only $26,000 bucks? Think about that. Okay? Yasir Abdullah. Is it worth bringing back $1.1 million and eating $91,000 bucks? Johnny Munt, who became, never really clicked. I will give him some credit. He was a pretty decent blocking tight end. But I think that is something that absolutely has to be addressed. Do you save $2.73 million by eating $500,000? So again, those are guys that are towards the bottom of your roster. If you were to make those three moves, that would give you about $5 million bucks. And here's what you got to ask yourself. Can you find guys who play those positions, primarily special teams for Yasir? Johnny Munn helped out a little bit as a run-blocking tight end. Cooper Hodges, in 2 years, hasn't been able to get out of the hot tub. So how much better can you get, and how much less is it going to cost to you? We don't talk about those type of players. So I think you're going to get a lot of that. But Eric Armstead, I see, and I also think an offensive line move is coming. Whether they trade Walker Little, whether they cut Chuma Edoga, whether they cut Patrick McCarry, I just think something on the offensive line is going to take place as well. All right, we'll take you through final thoughts right here on this Wednesday edition. Tomorrow, let's look at some props, and let's look at the side and the total. We'll do that with the Philly Godfather as he joins us in our first hour coming up on Thursday.
Choose your social channel. Twitter at 1010XL, Facebook at 1010XL, Instagram at 1010XL, TikTok at 1010XL, YouTube at 1010XL. 1010XL is there.
Know when it's time to get hurt, lost wages, injuries that not only hurt but hinder our success. If you're in this position due to the negligence of another, you deserve to be paid. Hey, this is Tom McManus. Injuries suck, so check out Morgan & Morgan. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the country. 100 offices, over 1,000 lawyers, with enough firepower to handle any and all personal injury cases. And they make filing a claim easy, and they don't get paid unless you do. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Visit forthepeople.com or hit Pound Law from your cell. Pound Law, that's all.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Give a unique gift this Valentine's Day to that special person in your life with a custom-made candle or body care product from Wick, a candle bar. Locations in San Marco and Jax Beach.
There's joy in every RV journey. Your journey starts at the Jacksonville RV Mega Show, Thursday, February 5th through Sunday the 8th at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center. It's Northeast Florida's largest RV show with hundreds of RVs on display with lifestyle booths. Adults $10, kids under 12 free. Seniors get $1 off Thursday. Military and first responders get $1 off every day. Thursday through Saturday from 10 to 5, Sunday 10 to 4. The Jacksonville RV Mega Show at the Jacksonville Equestrian Center.
San Jose Collision in Mandarin is proud to be an I-CAR Gold Class collision repair facility. That means they meet the industry's highest training standards. Experience the difference at San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Let's talk about the sound no homeowner wants to hear. Drip, drip, drip. Still dripping. That's exactly why Duck Duck Rooter created the Love Your Pipes promotion. Plumbing problems don't scare us. Not with years of experience and honest upfront pricing on our side. Right now, you can get free plumbing assessment on all fixtures with any paid plumbing service. It's the smart move to fix the issue now before it becomes bigger. So when you're stuck, call the Duck, 904-862-6769, duckduckrooter.com.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%. It's the lowest in years. Hey, gang, Prosser here. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time, or you can keep your primary mortgage intact, get cash out. Equity with Loan Pronto's rapid equity loans. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards, some car loans, and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now. See what option works best for you, but don't miss this big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous rapid equity loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks. You may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 904-999-1508 or visit loanpronto.com. No hard credit pull. 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. APR for well-qualified buyers.
Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
It's your boy, Big Sirs, your lemon pepper guy. And we're in the red zone for the big game. You know I don't play when it comes to Wingstop. Here's the play call. You got to pre-order your wings by Saturday to beat the rush. Spend $50 or more, and I'm going to help you score a free large ranch. Just add the large ranch to your cart and use promo code BIGGAME. And check out that Wingstop app or wingstop.com. Spend just $50 on Wingstop pre-order by Saturday and add that free large ranch with your promo code BIGGAME.
Hey, it's Travis from Cannons of Jacks. When you need a trailer hitch, gooseneck, or RV towing options, call us at Cannons. We've been doing it for 55 years, and customer service is our #1 priority. Visit cannonsofjacks.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Another practice day as we draw closer to Super Bowl 60. Apparently, Drake May is fine, so I know that's been a concern over the last week and some change. Also coming out of Santa Clara / West Coast, comments from Devin Lloyd saying that he wishes that he could be here, right? He has not talked with the Jaguars yet about his impending free agency. I think he's outpriced this football team. But we're starting to get a snippet here, a snippet there. Again, Tony Khan has done a little bit of electronic media as well. Liam Cohen and Eric Armstead. So, I mean, the 2 players you've heard from, I think, could very easily be gone. I expect that to happen. You can't franchise tag him. It's going to cost you like $27 million. Just like you can't franchise tag ETN. It's going to cost you a ton of money. You're not going to spend the $20 million to put a tag on Buster Brown. So, I mean, this franchise, the former regime, they used it, 5 consecutive years, if memory serves me correct. You had Yannick Ngakoue. You had a couple of years with Cam Robinson. You had Evan Ingram. You had Josh Hines-Allen. But we'll see what ends up happening when it's all said and done. Pretty interesting stuff. Robin Ventura charging the mound, getting pounded by Nolan Ryan. I mean, he charged the mound and he just stopped. Usually when you charge the mound, you throw. He didn't. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything on boxing yet. Some historic situations in the world of boxing. I mean, I guess we're a little bit too old for dives. If you're going back to Muhammad Ali, a lot of people bringing up the pine tar incident with George Brett, and that's a shame because George Brett is arguably the greatest third baseman to ever play. I really think it's from the modern era. To me, the two best third basemen, arguably in the history of the game, are Mike Schmidt and George Brett. Where would you put Pete Rose in that category? Pete Rose played every position, for crying out loud. Pete Rose came up as a second baseman, played third base, played all three outfield positions, and then wrapped up his career at first base. He was just one of those guys, put me in the lineup. 4704 Blue is a Jags fan. I feel like it's our duty to root for New England in the Super Bowl. Twist the knife in the side of Tennessee fans. The Vrabel curse. Yeah. That was a big time mistake. A huge mistake. 62-63. The time Darius clotheslined that dude on a night game. I think it was Cincinnati. I think penalty maybe got thrown out late. Are you referring to the one in Green Bay? I'm dating myself here. Maybe 2001 in Green Bay? 2002, perhaps? Because I remember I was living in Chicago. Oh, but Blue, you're not a Jags guy. Oh, that's right. I drove from Chicago with my wife at the time, the late Jim Kane, the Godfather, and we went to Lambeau for the Jaguars visiting the Packers. Didn't he line up Robert Ferguson? I think that was the deal. I'm going to have to look back on this. And what was great about it is at that point, it was my first trip ever to Lambeau. And Jim Kane got seats inside a brand new first-year suite at Lambeau Field. And, man, was it cold. It was brutal. It was. Look that up. I think that's what you may be referring to. All right. Let's take our final break of the night. Hey, we got a lot to do the rest of the week, including tomorrow and Friday, 6 to 8 both nights. We'll come back, wrap things up, get you ready as well for Hacker Nation, who will join you at 8 o'clock.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Hi, it's Tara Lagaman. Jeff and I love local Fair Jacks for fresh eggs, quality meat, produce. It's all from local farmers. There's no scary recalls, just food you can feel good about feeding your family. Learn more at localfairjacks.com.
Hi, Jacksonville. This is Dr. George Bari, an orthopedic surgeon who is fellowship trained in sports medicine by the Dr. James Andrews. Wintertime is upon us, and you may notice you wake up in the morning with some aches and pains in the shoulders and knees. If this happens to you, don't forget, stay mobile to try to reduce stiffness in your joints. And if that doesn't work, come see me at Bari Orthopedics, where we can treat you with cortisone injections and platelet-rich plasma injections and other non-invasive needs. Visit me at BariOrthopedics.com.
Are you ready to reclaim your backyard? Serving Northeast Florida since 1977, Surfside Pools is the trusted name for expert pool design. Family owned and operated, they offer pool service, equipment repairs, commercial maintenance, remodels, and new pool construction. Let Surfside Pools transform your backyard into the oasis that you crave. Are you ready to float happy? Visit surfsidepools.net or call 246-2666. Surfside Pools and Spas, where luxury meets leisure.
License number CPC 044080. This is Hayes Carlion for First Florida Credit Union. I went to the branch on 210 to get my car loan and had a fantastic experience. I got a great rate and was in and out. The online banking services are also outstanding. Depositing checks through the mobile app is fast and efficient. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Credit Union in the Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards for 3 years running, and it's easy to see why. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
It's a dream come true. Today's coverage of National Signing Day on 1010XL is brought to you by Baker Glass and Flame Broiler. Listen all day for updates and find out where our high school athletes will take their talents this fall.
Here's good advice from your friends here at 1010XL. I'm Frank Frangie. The next time you need to send a gift for a birthday, anniversary, wedding, or just for the fun of it, call the experts at Kuhn Flowers. For over 75 years, Kuhn Flowers does it right.
Gated communities, homeowners associations, secure corporate centers. When you need a full-line fence company capable of any size job, you need to think about Duval Fence. They've got the latest and greatest in gate operators and access control systems. Security is huge these days, and you want a gate that operates smoothly, around the clock, every time you hit the button. Count on a company that's been serving Duval and the First Coast for decades. That's Duval Fence. For the latest in gate operators, commercial or residential, check out Duval Fence.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
It all begins with Speed Weeks, presented by Advent Health, February 11th, and culminates with a Daytona 500 on February 15th. This week, you can win a pair of tickets to the Daytona 500. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name to 641-1010. What driver won the 2025 Daytona 500? Text the driver's last name answer to 641-1010 for a chance to win tickets to the Daytona 500, February 15th.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
I just looked it up. It actually happened with Donovan Darius back in 2004 against Robert Ferguson. That clothesline hit. Darius later apologized for it, and I was talking about that. I said 2001, 2002. It was 04, but that's when I was living in Chicago. I actually went to that game, and my buddy, the late Jim Kane, it was the first year they ever had a suite at Lambeau Field. We got to watch that game indoors.
Yeah, Darius Jack Tatumed Robert Ferguson. Oh. It was brutal. And you know what the lasting memory I have from that? That was such a huge win for Jacksonville. And then I think like the very next week they came home and just laid a flat out egg against like Houston or somebody. Mm-hmm. It was bizarre. They had such a big win, an emotional win at Lambeau, and it just completely went kaput the very next week here at home.
I've played with Donovan a few times. It's great when he's out on the golf course with Aaron Beasley, who I do play golf with quite a bit. But those two together is a lot of fun just to sit back and listen to their stories. But when I think of Donovan Darius, even more than the hit, I think of Dick Geron, the defensive coordinator, and his initial response, his initial sound on Donovan Darius, the defensive coordinator at the time, saying, Donovan Darius brings a lot of violence to the football field.
Yeah, he was a physical dude, one of the most physical defensive players the Jaguars have ever had. There's no doubt about that. I was thinking about you on the drive in today.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know how much you've talked about this, but I remember a long time ago on the Bad Show that National Signing Day was an enormous deal.
Oh, my gosh.
And today is National Signing Day, and I don't know if you've talked any about it. I'm going to try to at least bring it up in my first segment. What a day this used to be for a college football fan that has just been obliterated now with the new era of college football.
You know, I was talking about Radio Row a little bit, how that doesn't have the same feel that it once did. It used to be very important to be there for the obvious reasons, where today it feels like it's just an athlete who's being paid a bunch of money to shill for a company. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it just doesn't feel the same. Boy, the computer, the internet, it totally took over National Letter of Intent Day. I openly miss it. It used to be one of my favorite days of the year. It's long gone, in my opinion.
Admittedly, I'll because both of you guys are friends now, I can admit this. I would go back and forth. You on one station, Frangie on the other. National Signing Day, and I would
crushed French.
I would get the Seminole perspective on the Bad Show. I'd get the Gator perspective on the Sports Fix, and I was locked in all 3 hours on National Signing Day, and it's just a day that doesn't even register on the sports.
And we used to have
calendar
them
anymore.
on. We used to bring the kids on, and it was like the first interview they had ever done. And
Who was the one? Jamie Newberg.
Oh,
Newberg
yeah.
was the guy back then.
Bill
remember?
Buckhalter, Tom Lemming, Max Emfinger. I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And at Florida State, the boosters used to pay to have Buckhalter come in.
Mm-hmm.
And it'd be a meet and greet filled with booze and, the finest meats and cheeses. And I was lucky enough that I'd be able to go. And I had Buckhalter on my show all the time. But he kind of gave you a little bit more off the record. I remember him one, Takeo Spikes is coming. Takeo Spikes is coming. And where do we have Spikes? It was probably at the ACC meetings in Charlotte when I told him about that. And it was on air. I was like, dude, you were signed, sealed, and delivered to Florida State. Why'd you go to Auburn? Well, I think we know why you went to Auburn.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
But anyway, some fascinating stuff. So you're going to do a little bit of that tonight?
A little bit of that tonight, yeah. We'll obviously talk about the Super Bowl as well, but I just kind of want to reminisce about National Signing Day, and I still love college football, don't get me wrong, but kind of what it's turned into. I saw a stat today. Oklahoma State has 51 players on their roster right now that were not there in November.
Oh, my gosh.
That's insane.
51?
51 for Oklahoma State, 40 for LSU. That are on their roster right now that were not there 3 months ago.
And that's the saddest part of it. You knew your roster. You knew who had already said that they're leaving for the draft or had graduated. You knew how many you had. Could you complete that class with 25? Would it be a little bit less? And realistically back then, maybe 2, 3 to 5 true freshmen would play. The rest would redshirt.
Right. And now it's you turn on the TV in September and you don't know half of the guys on your own team.
All right. You got that. Everything else good tonight, too?
Everything's good. Yeah. Leon seriously joins me. We got a lot to do till 10 o'clock.
All right. Have a fun show, Hacker.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. Appreciate all of your input tonight. And as always, it is appreciated. Thank you to Kendra Middleton, Duval's own. Came out and said, good luck to you, Baloo, and your Patriots. Oh, boy. That started a little heat from the Duval listeners. I mentioned them all, especially the negative ones. Took a few punches. Hopefully, I'll be back in 22 hours to do it again. That's the goal. Wake up, come back, do it again. Thursday at 6. For Aaron Williams, I am Rick Baloo. Have a great night. We'll talk Thursday at 6.